I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been, you know?
What can be unburdened by what has been.
What can be unburdened by what has been.
What can be unburdened by what has been.
What can be
Unburdened by what has been.
what we can see, what we believe can be unburdened by what has been.
What can be unburdened by what has been.
What can be unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been.
What can be unburdened by what has been.
Who we can be unburdened by who we have been.
What
You
can
have to, going to my mind's going blank now. What's happening? What, I can't remember. I'm gonna lose track. My mind's going blank now. What are you talking? What the hell's going on here? Where the hell are we? My mind's going blank now. I can't remember. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. What am I doing here? My mind's going blank now. Where am I heading? I keep forgetting I'm president. Where am I? No idea. Last night on the television, I was on a telephone rapidly rising and with I don't know. COVID has taken more than 100 years. Look, here's lives reflected in the NHDI. America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to put him in the we're going to seize the ill-begotten gains of Putin's autocracy. Yeah. NATO's purpose is to defend against aggression. Let me make near and dear to you that you would like to be able to. Anyway, my mind's going blank now. What's happening? What, I can't remember. I'm gonna lose track. My mind's going blank now. What are you talking? What the hell's going on here? Where the hell are we? My mind's going blank now. I can't remember. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. What am I doing here? My mind's going blank now. Where am I heading? I keep forgetting I'm president. Where am I? No idea. I don't think as the idea that the political coverage I want to thank and recognize Dr. John Kingerson. I can't get this to function at all. My mind's going blank now. What's happening? What, I can't remember. I'm gonna lose track. My mind's going blank now. What are you talking? What the hell's going on here? Where the hell are we? My mind's going blank now. I can't remember. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. What am I doing here? My mind's going blank now. Where am I heading? I keep forgetting I'm president. Where am I? No idea.
And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Once again, this is Chris Report, and he assured me that since Simon's down in Boulders. Folks, this is Chris Wyatt reporting from South Africa.
Tuesday, July 23rd, 2024. Welcome back to Chris Wyatt Reports, folks. Chris live in central Pennsylvania. Today's Daily Dose, your injection, your jab against fake news, hyperbole, and outright lies by the legacy media and a host of commentators on social media around the planet. Get it straight here. Unvarnished, the truth, the objective truth. Didn't say unbiased, I said objective. All right, folks, welcome back to the program. Breaking news out of Washington, D.C., where in the last hour, the embattled failure, known as Director of the Secret Service, Kimberly Cheatle, the diversity hire herself, has resigned from the Secret Service. Now, do not consider this to be accountability. This is not accountability. Accountability will be criminal charges against her for negligence and her dereliction of duty. That will be accountability. But in the meantime, this is an interesting and helpful development to see Kimberly Cheatle walk away from the Secret Service, an organization she doesn't have the capacity to lead. A woman who stonewalled and lied in front of Congress. A woman who went on ABC News to tell the narrative to help facilitate the cover-up that's currently underway by the Washington elites in their effort to destroy Donald Trump and to eliminate him from this planet. We've seen the events unfold. They forced Joe Biden to have a debate months before a debate would ever occur in a presidential primary just to give them an excuse to get rid of the old doddering fool. That worked, but it didn't work. So he doubled down. Much to their shock, the elites that control everything were shocked that Joe Biden didn't resign and walk away from the election after that doddering performance. When that didn't work, the assassination attempt on Donald Trump's life, which was covered by the Keystone Cops, also known as the Secret Service, and the most inept Secret Service operation in the history of the Secret Service. Donald Trump wasn't killed, so they did eliminate Donald Trump. That left them no option but to force Joe out. And that's where we find ourselves today. Kimberly Cheatle is the fall guy, the patsy for the incompetence and the Washington establishment, and is the poster child for diversity hires. She can now go back to guarding Cheetos. Kimberly Cheetos, the former director of the Secret Service, and that is my opening monologue. Let me say hello to everybody who's in the chat, and I'll ask the people to behave themselves. I see a couple people like to get snippy in the chat with each other. None of that today. Sedgefield is here at the outset. Vilma Erasmus, Allison Johnson, Teresa, Sue Walsh, Rebel Canners, except for at Sedgefield. That's all ladies to get started. Thank you, ladies. James Bowie. Arctic is here. Teresa, Gus, Ernst, Smee again. Hester Kotze, Olaf, Paulie, the brains behind the operation, Army of the Wyatts. And Marilyn Brogeshaw. Hey, Marilyn, how you doing today? Good to see you there. My fantastic host, along with Lindsay in Joburg. Kathy Vermeulen is here. Welcome, Kathy. John Jarvis, welcome to you, John. Bri Brutkies, welcome to you. Bri Brutkies, I love it. Fleshen is in from the 15-minute city of Oxford. Garrett Gillich is here, as always. Na, wie geht's, alte Knabe? Ulrich Fente Budbor is here again. And then we got Angus Roy McBean. Well, that's an interesting name. Boy, that sounds like something right out of a Rob Roy movie there, Angus. Thank you for sharing that. Just looking at tickets for Scotland, South Africa this fall, they're sold out. Ugh, shame. Lorraine Slabbert, Mike is here from the east coast of Philadelphia. That would be on the Delaware River. Charmaine is back. Welcome, Charmaine Rennie Font. Good to see you again. Emery in from Istanbul. RJ, is Biden still live? It's a question I've been asking, but apparently he's going to appear in front of the cameras on Wednesday. Although we are beginning to wonder if this will simply be Kevin Kline pretending to be the president, as we saw in the movie Date. Purple Bear, T-Bear, it's been a while. Welcome back to you. Rebel Canners, she should have been fired. Exactly. Amore, Kimberly Cheetos is now history will remember her. Oh, history, this is how we will remember her. Kimberly Cheetos, yep. And Brian Lawrence and Eric is here. Welcome to all of you. Can we call for a welfare check? That's right. Can we get a health and welfare check? Could social services make their way to Rehoboth Beach, Delaware to check in on the former president? Folks, I've been very busy. There's George Steinberg in from Heckport. And I've been very busy with all the events unfolding here, making appearances there. I will be appearing on Biz News again very soon, talking about an issue unrelated to U.S. politics, but rather South African politics and the South African military. So look for that on Biz News coming up soon. For those who've caught me on Biz News, thank you for following me there. I do appreciate it. It's a pleasure to be on the program. I'm a little surprised I haven't been called by either Alex Newman or by John B. Wells. They haven't called me, so it's interesting. Usually they call me for something like this. Also, I haven't been called by Cliff Central. I wonder if they want to talk about this or not. Anyway, but yeah, so Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheatle has resigned from the Secret Service, long overdue, 10 days after the attempted failed assassination on the life of Donald John Trump. This shows you the incompetence. These are the people leading this nation. These are the people responsible for our nation's security. These are the people responsible for our foreign policy. These are the people responsible for a $2 trillion deficit this year. It's no wonder this country is in the crapper. Absolutely in the crapper. We are definitely living in interesting times, Maryland. That is correct. That is an understatement to say the least. It's becoming a trite phrase, but it's so true. Yep, so true. Sodom Joburg. Okay, all right, good to hear that. PK, welcome to you as well. 81 people currently here, just 39 of you hit the like button, which means that people are not getting the job done.
That was easy.
She's probably assigned a more lucrative position in the swamp. Yeah, no, she'll probably be getting a lecturing position at Harvard University. How to assassinate a president through incompetence. Our guest lecturer today here teaching this undergraduate course at Harvard University, the land of anti-Semitism. Welcome to Kimberly Cheeto, also known affectionately as Kimberly Cheetos, the former director of the Secret Service, whose ineptitude was responsible for the near death of President Donald John Trump. I'm sorry, former President Donald John Trump. Welcome, Miss Cheetos. How exactly did you lead the Secret Service into this excellent operation, which, well, it failed, so it's not an excellent operation. The president wasn't assassinated. Could you tell us about that, Miss Cheetos? Well, it's like I was working at PepsiCo, and I got this phone call from Jill. And Jill was like, oh my God, we need a new director of the Secret Service. You're like so lovely. Oh, you were such a great addition to the VP's team. We loved you. Would you come back to the Secret Service? We will appoint you as the director of the Secret Service. And then it's vaginas all day long. Vagina, vagina, vagina. Vagina, vagina, vagina. Vagina, vagina, vagina. You'll be vaginas all day long. You can bring all the ladies in you like. Make that the focus of your time. Joe wants you. You're the director. Could you come in? So your primary reason for being appointed the director of the Secret Service wasn't your 27 years of faithful service supporting and defending the Constitution. It was because Jill Biden liked you. Well, yeah, of course. Of course. I was working for PepsiCo, making 7 figures. You think I'd come back to the government for anything other than the chance to promote women? Wow, folks, there you have it. Biden missing is just another deep state stunt. Exactly, Lorraine Slabbert. You were spot on. That's a lovely avatar, by the way, Lorraine. How about that agent who couldn't holster a weapon? Isn't that supposed to be muscle memory? Exactly. Imagine making that much money. You know, she made 7 figures at PepsiCo. 7 figures a year. 7 figures. Not to mention she probably got stock options and everything else. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. When I found out Kimberly Cheetos, the director of Secret Service, I went to my basement, to my stock, and I checked to make sure my Doritos were still there. The Lay's potato chips were still on the shelf in case we have to go to another lockdown. I have all my Cheetos and my Fritos and my Lay's and Doritos downstairs safely checked. Yep, safely checked. Now that I know that she was the security director for PepsiCo. Wow. I don't drink Pepsi, so I didn't have to safeguard my Pepsi, but I do eat Fritos and I do eat Doritos. Well, mostly Doritos and Lay's. So there you go. Well, there you have it, folks. Kimberly Cheatle has resigned as the director of the Secret Service. Long overdue. Wonder if sniffed hair before choosing her. I don't know. Maybe. Bri Brookie's got a kick out of that. So we're just doing that. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me we're going to replay yesterday's testimony before the Congress. So, Director Cheatle, my name is Representative Jimenez of Texas. Hang on. Director Cheatle, my name is Jimenez from the great state of Texas, the Lone Star Republic. Now, I own an AR-15. I've owned it for several years. I've only fired it once before this weekend. One time I fired that weapon, and I don't go to the range regularly, but I do own an AR-15. So I went into Texas this weekend, and I found a building with a slope, approximately, exactly the same slope that you had there in Butler, Pennsylvania. I got my AR-15 with no training, no scope, and I shot at a target 130 meters away. That's for the Europeans and the South Africans meters. We say feet here in America, but we'll say or yards. It's 150 yards, 130 meters. I fired at that target 16 times, and I'll be damned if I didn't hit the target 15 times. And you're telling me that wasn't a dangerous spot? That you didn't have snipers on that roof? You didn't have that building blocked off? Representative Jimenez, it's a question of if you could define what the word is means. So you mean to tell me, Mr. Director, that you cannot define the verb to be in the English language? Are you related to Bill Clinton? I'm just saying. Well, Congressman, I'm unable to answer that question until I hear back from ABC News, who will tell me what I'm supposed to say. So you're telling me, Director, that you can't tell us the timeline of the shootings? Well, that's correct, Director. But you went on ABC News. You told the world everything. Well, yes, that's what Alejandro Mayorkas told me to say. Good Lord. So this is a replay yesterday. Director, when did the Secret Service first learn of this? I don't know. But you went on ABC News and said it was at 5:52. Well, I don't remember. Was President Trump shot at? To the best of my recollection, that's true. Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kimberly Cheetos. Wow. So 5 people left because I did impersonations. Shame on you. Shame on you. Heard the shooter was identified as a sus person because he was spotted with a rangefinder. Yes, RJ, that's not what you heard. We've seen the footage of it. We see him on video with a rangefinder in front of the building on the other side of the street. Somebody was filming and it was caught on that video. Everybody's looking at their phones now. Did I get the guy? Did I catch it? Everybody's looking at the video. This is why you cannot control the narrative when you're the deep state. You can try, and people are stupid. They'll believe anything. But so many videos are out there, and the provenance of videos can be proven. It's not hard. Wow. Wow. Dylan said I was taking cover. I couldn't see. Yeah, no, it's, folks, it's beyond the pale. Absolutely beyond the pale. Erica's calling her cheater. Kimberly cheater. Classic Chris impersonation. Thank you for that, Erica. Yeah, no, it was, folks, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. So let's get to the news. Let's get to the news before everybody leaves because they don't like my impersonations. Ladies and gentlemen, the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, CNN, all the foreign media are now reporting the resignation of embattled is a generous term, of dingbat doorknob Kimberly Cheatle, a woman who will soon have herself a lecturing position at an Ivy League school like James Comey, another fraud who should be in jail as well. Let's go ahead and get to this. So, Secret Service Director resigns amid anger over Trump shooting. Kimberly Cheatle initially hoped to retain her position, but lawmakers demanded she step down, and they had their way in a bipartisan effort to get rid of her. Well, we weren't going to know what was going to happen before Arctic. We're still not going to know. This doesn't change anything. Mark, you wonder why I need a rangefinder at 100 meters? He didn't need a rangefinder. The guy wasn't an experienced marksman. He wasn't an experienced marksman, so he probably thought he needed one. Probably didn't know better. Cheatle's departure came after a blistering congressional hearing in which she offered minimal new information. She offered no new information. She lied about information she had publicly disclosed to the press. Why is this woman on ABC News 2 days after the shooting and not in front of Congress? Congress was very generous. They gave her 9 days to appear before them. 9 days. They expected to hear answers. Now, what she should have said is she can't answer the question. She said, Congressman, I cannot answer that question because of methods and tactics. I cannot answer the operation because of tradecraft. I can answer your question in camera. Not in front of the camera, in camera. In camera, which means in private. So these committees can have classified sessions in which nobody's there except people who have the clearance and they need to know. She could have answered the questions there, but no, she sits in front of the cameras and stonewalls because this is all part of the biggest cover-up in American history since, I never believed in the cover-up of the Kennedy assassination. It was before I was born. But the older I get, the more I'm believing maybe there was a cover-up in the Kennedy assassination. Yeah, you can do that shot with irons and a blindfold on. Exactly. Wonder how her book will read. Yeah, The Day They Missed and Hit My Heart. Oh, RJ. Oh, what a wicked title. The Day They Missed and Hit My Heart. Wow. Where's Joe Biden? It blows my mind. Exactly. Where's Joe Biden? Not only is his mind going blank, but his presence is blank. We haven't seen Joe Biden since Nevada. Is he even alive? Is there truth to what Laura Loomer was saying? And now all these other people are, look, I give him full credit to Laura Loomer. I never claimed that happened on Air Force One. She claimed it. She was dismissed as a lunatic by people who are now claiming that they know what they're talking about. Well, it was a medical incident. He had a mini stroke. Or, hey, listen, you guys heard him yesterday if you watched my program. I played the audio. Joe called in purportedly. We don't know if it was recorded because there was no interaction between what we heard over the mobile phone and what he said. He could have just recorded. But it was all slurred. It sounded like someone who had had a stroke. Is it called a skiff or something like that? No, it's not a skiff. A skiff is SCIFF. I think that's where you're going, RJ. A sensitive compartment information facility. A skiff wouldn't be necessary. In this case, it probably only requires a classified setting. So there's different levels of classification. In the U.S. government, we have, well, first we used to have for official use only, but that's been changed. They have a new name for it. The State Department had said, hang on a second, my camera's bouncing around there. The State Department has a different one, SBU, sensitive but unprotected. Or unclassified. Sensitive but unclassified, which means that it's not classified, but you have to protect the information by not leaving it out in the open. You have to put it in a file drawer or lock it up. So that's sensitive but unclassified. That used to be called for official use only, FOIA. But that is now changed. They have a different designation for it, but it's not classified. Beyond that, you have classification. You have confidential. then you have secret, then you have top secret. But that isn't where it ends. That is all called collateral classified information. In other words, that information is classified because of the nature of the information, not because of the source. However, when the source needs to be protected, we have stuff that's not collateral. We have sensitive compartment information, SCI. And a SCIF is a facility where you can view or discuss or watch or listen to SCI information. So you can have SCI at the collateral at the confidential level, but that's pretty rare. You do have SCI at secret, which is also rare, but most sensitive compartment information is at the top secret level. So TSSCI is what it's called, top secret. These aren't state secrets. This isn't tradecraft. This is in order to protect the information, you have to know this. And so that's what I'm talking about here. So she did not have to disclose anything in a SCIF. They could have gone to a SCIF, because in a SCIF you can discuss anything. It doesn't matter what the classification is. You can discuss there as long as the people present have a need to know and are read on to a program. When I say read on, we have classified programs that are limited to certain numbers of people, certain types of people who need to do this for their execution of their duties, or investigations, or for intelligence pursuit or analysis. If you have a need to know, you get read on a program, you're briefed about the nature of the program, the widespread use of it or lack of widespread use, how compartmented it is. Compartmented, that's why it's sensitive compartmented information. It's in little separate baskets and barrels. In fact, I saw something on a television show, or no, that movie recently, The Beekeeper, in which Jeremy Irons says, when I was read on as the director of CIA, I found about programs I didn't even know existed. Well, that could very well be the case. A new director of the CIA will find out about classified programs that they don't even know existed. And there will be classified programs that even the director doesn't know about sometimes. Yeah, so that's the nature of it. So what she should have said is, I can't discuss this in public, but if you want me to answer those questions, I can disclose that in camera. And they should have gone to a classified setting. Yep. The Cheatle lady is only here to sign documents. Yeah, I know, PK. You said that before. Homeland Security Committee is also obtaining stunning new info on the attempt. Oh, look, it's unbelievable. This is beginning to look more and more like a conspiracy theory come true, that the government tried to murder President Trump. That's what it's looking like. I mean, I'm not making that claim. I'm not making that claim. I have no evidence of that. But boy, it's sure painting a picture looking that way. Other people tell her to sign here, and she does it. Yep, and you need a TSSCIS sets of background investigation to work in specific areas due to the possibility information could be encountered. Exactly right. You have to have a sensitive background investigation, which can include a polygraph examination. It includes a look in your entire life. If you bounced a check when you were 19, they're going to know about it. If you don't tell them about it, you won't get a clearance. If you had an affair, if you slept with a goat, if you embezzled money, you ain't going to get a clearance. Yeah, just like Treadstone. Exactly right, Mike. Just like Treadstone. Treadstone was a compartmented program, a fictional program, we believe. Heard a thing about a second shooter. Well, I want to know who was on the grassy knoll. Cheeto answered just like her boss. Exactly. I honestly want to know where the President of America is. This is crazy. How is this not bigger than this? Well, PK, it's news on this channel. I've said it over and over again. And on Big Daddy Liberty last night, I said, where is Joe Biden? It's like, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? How in the world can Joe Biden release a letter with a digital signature saying he's left the presidential race? And even if he hadn't left the race, where has he been since last week? He's been missing for 10 days now. Colonel had to go through it too. Yeah, no, I've had to go through it and still do. By the way, Backwoods, I still have a TSSCI. Yep, still have one of those. Yeah, I found out recently. I thought I didn't have one anymore, but there's a special program. Deep State probably got rid of Joe Biden clone because he was malfunctioning. So now they're pushing for Kamala. Well, we'll know it's a Kamala clone if she doesn't cackle like Kamala does. Very interesting. You're really knowledgeable. RJ, yes, I am very knowledgeable. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. Look, the stuff that's in my head that I'm not allowed to share with the world, when I go to my grave, they can't take engrams out. I'm not data. They can't take engrams out and take those memories. Those things will disappear with me. Anybody who's been read on very compartmented programs knows information that no one else in the world knows, and there's a reason for that. You trust those people. That's why when you see the trolls come on my channel, and you see the haters like in Australia and the haters in Amsterdam and all these people, put so-called colonel. So-called colonel, are you serious? It's a matter of public record. Or, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Really? Okay, I could be wrong, but that doesn't mean I know what I'm talking about. I could be wrong. It's, the people that do this crap are just comical. It just shows you how uninformed the world is. Anyway, I spent 36 years in uniform with a clearance, and spent over 30 of those years in the intelligence community at the highest levels around the world, working on multiple continents, involved in discrete programs that only a handful of people know about, doing analysis and getting it correct, writing for the President of the United States, writing for 4-star generals and admirals, writing for ambassadors, analyzing for these people, participating in combat, involved in construction of schools, clinics, hospitals, roads, wells, running HIV programs, tuberculosis programs, or not tuberculosis, Ebola research programs, and fighting terrorists, hunting terrorists. And these people come on. It's so comical. It's beyond comical to see the trolling that goes on and the attacks, personal attacks on me. It's funny. I mean, I saw it here when I ran for office. I had people with their little, never accomplished anything in their life locally here, never done anything. I mean, nothing. And because they got fired for stealing or because they got fired for incompetence, they run around and tell people that like the people that are in charge of the place are stealing when they're actually the ones stealing and they got caught doing it. Anyway, so it's just comical. It's just comical. It's insane, exactly. But none of the left news are asking a question. It's the President of the United States, and we have not seen him TV proclaiming a step down. Exactly, PK. That's what I've said. That's why it raised all kind of questions. Is he even alive? Laura Luma reported that on Air Force One recently there was a medical incident. And she was called a wackadoodle and she was lying. But she wasn't lying. By the way, where's Karine Jean-Pierre? Has anybody seen Karine Jean-Pierre lately? I haven't seen her. Backwoods Law says, trolls got to troll. There's a reason you get a clearance, and it's not because you want one. Exactly. Trust me. Trust me. Going through the process of filling out the form just to renew your clearance every 5 years is rectal bleeding the information they want. They are talking to people that you interacted with 25 years ago. They want to know the status of your parents, even if they're dead. They want to track this down. They want to know the street you lived on in 1973. They want to know the phone number of your house in 1982. They want to know who your friends were. It's crazy. People have no idea. They have no idea. And that's why it's just beyond hilarious to see people behave the way they do. They're really asses. They don't know. Lorraine says, once again, conspiracy theorists are ahead 10 points to 1 this time. The lies just surfaced much sooner. Yep, you're right, Lorraine. You're right. Biden to speak from the Oval Office tomorrow at 8 p.m. Yes, Sue, I've seen that announced. I think they finally found the Kevin Kline impersonator that will play the role of Joe Biden tomorrow night. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Cheatle vowed to get to the bottom of what she acknowledged was a colossal security lapse, but it took 3 times for the guy to ask her if it was a colossal security collapse when she finally admitted. But she never said the words, but she admitted it. Lawmakers across the aisle said her assurances didn't inspire confidence to urge her to step down. Cheatle's hearing performance was awful. It was all secret and no service, said Jamie Raskin. Wow. Jamie Raskin, the demonic leftist serial pathological liar about Donald Trump, said that her performance was awful. It was all secret and no service. Wow. Wow. She answered none of the questions the American people have. The committee's chairperson, Representative James Comer of Kentucky, said there will be more accountability to come. The Secret Service has a no-fail mission, yet it failed historically on Director Cheatle's watch. A number of investigations are now underway into how Thomas Matthew Crooks fired at least 6 rounds from a roof of the American Glass Research Building 400 feet away from where Trump spoke, killing a spectator, critically injuring 2 others, and leaving Trump with a missing ear. Oh, wow. House leaders from both parties said they're setting up a bipartisan task force. The panel made up of 7 Republicans, 6 Democrats, who have the power to issue subpoenas. According to Representative Mike Johnson, the Homeland Security Department under Alejandro Mayorkas, a person who should be impeached and imprisoned for his criminal activity and his slave trading into the United States by allowing millions of undocumented criminal alien invaders in this country. He is going to lead an investigation. The Federal Bureau of Incompetence has an investigation. The Secret Service has an investigation. I'll tell you what. Maybe I should go file for my private investigator's license and I should do an investigation so we can get to the truth. Maybe I should do that. I'm sure troll and Afrikaans must be droll. What is the separation between the CIA and Secret Service? Oh, it's complete flesh, and they're not even closely related. Secret Service mission is twofold. It's to protect the president and to deal with counterfeiting. The Secret Service was part of the Department of Treasury until the formation of the Homeland Security Department, and then they were stolen from Treasury. They never should have been taken away from there. Their level of competence has gone on decline ever since they became part of the Department of Homeland Security about 2 decades ago. But the Secret Service has nothing to do with the CIA. The only similarity between the CIA and the Secret Service is a similarity that every other executive branch has. They all fall under the control of the President of the United States. That's the only relationship that they share. They can share information, they can share intelligence, but they don't. It was funny when I was sent to the ANMC, they had to do background on me and were asking stuff before I was... Exactly backwards. They're asking about your parents. I don't know what my father did in 1956. I wasn't there. Cheatle evaded answering any questions truthfully as this was going to expose puppet masters. Yeah. I guess some of this will eventually demand Trump to show this. Oh, they're already demanding it. We already saw it. We saw Joy Lashree talk about, Where's the wound? Why aren't we seeing the wound? Why aren't we seeing the report or release from his doctor? So the left was more concerned about a report from Donald Trump on his ear and his health than they were about finding out who shot him. That's what they were in the 3 days after the shooting. Remember that? She didn't mention counterfeiting in response to Secret Service mission. Well, unless that's been taken away from them and I'm unaware of it, but the Secret Service mission is counterfeiting. I work with the Secret Service abroad. There are Secret Service agents who are stationed in embassies abroad and consulates. I won't disclose where, but they are around. It's not a secret, but I'm just not going to disclose where because people don't need to know. But I've worked with Secret Service overseas whose mission was to stop counterfeiting in a country where lots of counterfeit U.S. bills show up. And no, it wasn't Nigeria. You won't get far. This is being blocked. What's being blocked? Oh, you mean the investigation. Also, why is the president not now showing he's okay? Why is the president not greeting the head of state from Israel? Isn't Israel the second largest international security concern at the moment after Ukraine? Gaza? The prime minister of Israel has come to the United States and Kamala Harris didn't greet him. Anthony Blinken didn't greet him. Joe Biden didn't greet him. And he's going to speak before Congress. Can you believe that? Why is nobody asking that question? The disrespect shown to our strongest ally in the most volatile region of the planet, the only genuine democracy and representative republic in all of the Middle East, the non-racial, non-religious Israel, the only country. And what's going on? Nobody shows up to greet this guy. Can you believe this? Not even underlings. Tanya Diesel says she should be criminally investigated. Yes, she should be investigated. This is not accountability. Her resignation is not accountability. A criminal investigation in her negligence and dereliction of duty is what's necessary. Fleshman says, I think you counterfeited the information about Nigeria. No, I didn't. So that's the Wall Street Journal. Here's NBC News, owned by Comcast. Secret Service, as NBC News correctly states, resigned after calls for her resignation. Secret Service director steps down amid resignation calls after the Trump assassination attempt. That's right. Only after she calls for her resignation after she appeared before Congress and stonewalled. In her resignation letter obtained from a senior official who received it, I haven't found it yet, Cheatle wrote that the scrutiny over the last week has been intense and will continue to remain as our operational tempo increases. She adds she takes full responsibility for security lapse. Really? I'm sorry. I seem to remember just a day or two after this when you went on ABC News and you didn't take responsibility. You said local law enforcement is to blame for this. You said local law enforcement didn't do their job. You said local law enforcement had responsibility for protecting the president, all of which was a bull-faced lie. A bull-faced lie. A bull-faced lie. Whilst her resignation is good, I'm pretty sure that she did not personally plan to select the team. No, I'm sure she had nothing to do with it, John. That's not the point. It's not the point. This is a Secret Service in which members of the Secret Service were caught doing blow on a mission to protect a principal. This is a Secret Service that covered up the cocaine, the crack cocaine found in the White House from Hunter Biden or whoever. This is a Secret Service that got caught banging hookers in Colombia on a detail in the hotel where the principal was. This is a Secret Service in terminal decline that's not doing its job. This is a Secret Service that gave 12 additional agents to protect Joe Biden at a secure facility in a casino in Pittsburgh while leaving Donald Trump exposed and blaming local law enforcement. She did that. So John Jarvis, it doesn't matter whether she planned or not. She lied and covered it up. That alone calls for her resignation and criminal prosecution. She blamed local law enforcement. Then she claimed that the slope was too great when we saw snipers that they put on the roof on an incline far greater. Then we see images from the White House when spotters and snipers are on the White House, which has a gabled roof like this. Like this. This was the slope of the building where the shooter was. That slope. Nothing. Unbelievable. She deserves scrutiny, investigation, prosecution for her negligence and dereliction of duty. But it will never happen. It will never happen. It is time, Martin Metz, for the 25th Amendment. Joe Biden needs to be removed by the cabinet, and then Kamala Harris can be the 47th president, and then Donald Trump have to change all his campaign material to say 48. She didn't pull the Fifth Amendment. No, she didn't. She did not. I never heard her say, I invoke my Fifth Amendment rights against self-incrimination. She never said that. Did she say that? Oh, I didn't see it. But I didn't watch the whole hearing, so maybe she did earlier. So who's going to be direct now? It really doesn't matter, Tshwane. The Secret Service is in disarray. and principals aren't being protected. They have 36 principals they're responsible for protecting, and they're not doing it. They're not doing it. Yes, she never pled the fifth. Never played the fifth. She could have done it from the outset. Chairman, I refuse to answer on the grounds I have a right to protect myself from self-incrimination. Arc says, still believe this, and January 6th goes hand in hand. Pelosi, the lot, and missing drugs at the White House. Yeah, it's all tied together, most likely. She don't want to answer in case her answer does not correspond with the cover of the FBI. Well, Reno, that's true. But what she should have said is, to the best of her knowledge, at this time, this is the best information we have. And then she would have been covered. She wouldn't have been caught for perjury. To my knowledge, this is what happened. We are still investigating and trying to confirm these timelines, but to my knowledge, that's what happened. She did not commit perjury, though. She did commit, well, somebody said she committed perjury. I'm not sure where the perjury was. I heard that exchange, and I didn't hear perjury there. Sometimes you investigate to see if it was some plot. If in this instance, you investigate to see if it was not a plot. Exactly. She admitted guilt, and now the families of the suing victims may sue her for wrongful death. Yeah, but they're not going to get anything. She has qualified immunity, so she's not going to get. Not going to pay any money for it. Yep, Chris for director. Well, thank you, James. I'm up to the task. I could lead the Secret Service. I could lead Department of Defense. Let's go. KGP, well, what are they, rebooting your software? Are they putting Apple instead of Microsoft in because of the Microsoft crash? Who gave a stand-down order? Which stand-down order? Okay, so that's NBC. So let's go to the New York Times, on which I already gave the headline on. She gave up her post Tuesday after security failures allowed a gunman to shoot at former President Trump. At least they got that correct. He's a gunman. He's not a sniper. The director of Secret Service resigned after security failures surrounding the attempted assassination of former President Trump. In an email to Secret Service employees, Cheatle said that one of the Secret Service's foremost duties is to protect the nation's leaders, and the agency fell short of that mission. I do not want my calls for resignation to be a distraction from the great work each and every one of you do towards our vital mission. She said, in light of recent events, it's with a heavy heart that I've made the difficult decision to step down as your director. As a leader, it takes honor, courage, and credible integrity to take full responsibility for an organization tasked with one of the most challenging jobs in public service. The resignation is a rapid fall for the agency veteran who protected Dick Cheney and Biden in their vice presidential tenures and was publicly supported by the Biden administration after Trump was nearly killed. The glaring security mistakes before the shooting, however, and the heated criticism faced in the days since then increasingly left her position in doubt. Biden gave her high praise for the position when he announced it in August 2022. He came to trust her judgment counsel and that she had the president's complete trust. Well, of course she did, because her mission was to protect Donald Trump, and Joe Biden didn't want Donald Trump protected. Secret Service director resigns, according to Fox News, after mounting pressure in the wake of the Trump assassination attempt. Cheatle admitted the Secret Service failed on July 13th. U.S. Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheatle resigned today in the wake of mounting pressure following the assassination attempt. She said the scrutiny of last week has been intense and will continue to remain as our operational tempo increases. Well, yeah. What kind of wedding band is that? It looks like an oak leaf. Yeah, well, good riddance. Good riddance. Well, folks, we're still waiting for answers. Citrusdal is without a road again. Remember my videos last year when I went to Citrusdal and I covered the reconstruction of the road that was washed away during the flooding? Well, Citrusdal is cut off from the world again in the Western Cape. This is insane. We're waiting for answers. The access road to Citrusdal remains inaccessible after it was washed away 10 days ago. It's the second year in a row the road has been washed away by floods. Locals said they're waiting for answers as to when the road will be repaired. Farmers said they're waiting for answers. While a private road is being used to facilitate access to Western Cape Town, locals say they had no clear indication of when they'll be able to make use of the main access road. It's the second year in a row it's happening. Gert Vandemev, a chairperson of the Citrus Growers Association and a citrus grower in the area, said there was frustration among residents and farmers. We have no idea when the road is coming. We haven't seen any movement. It's been 10 days since the road was washed away. Last year, in 10 to 14 days, we had a new road. Vandemev stressed the importance for the citrus growers and the local economy that repairs be prioritized. Cedarburg local municipality spokesman Anthony Malata said the municipality is waiting for the provincial government and district municipality to carry out the necessary road repairs. Well, somebody better quit waiting and get the damn road fixed before all this citrus spoils. Unbelievable. Well, politics, folks. Politics is what it's all about. Tshwane threats to unseat the government if a connected cater's access to the tenders is disrupted. Yep, that's what's happening in Tshwane. The Daily Maverick reports that ANC Tshwane boss threatened to collapse council during waste tender contract. Wow. ANC Regional Secretary George Machila allegedly warned Tshwane's head of finance to cancel a waste collection improvement plan or face a motion no confidence to oust the mayor. ANC Tshwane Regional Secretary George Machila allegedly told Tshwane's finance boss, Jackie Ice, that the party would move to collapse the council on a motion no confidence if she did not reverse a plan to tighten the city's multi-million rand contracts on waste collection. Wow. Pretoria is a dirty city. Its municipal waste management capacity has been eroded over years of catered deployment, mismanagement. Waste management has been outsourced and is a honeycomb for often ANC-linked tenderpreneurs who benefit from the budgeted 700 million rand annual contracts. It's open knowledge that Mr. Machila had a vested interest in the preceding waste management tender, said ICE in an affidavit signed at the Garsfontein police station on Pretoria on July 17th. This is borne out by the fact that on several occasions, Mr. Machila personally demanded that outstanding invoices be paid immediately by the city so that he could pay his people. This interest appears to have continued with the award of the new tender, save for the fact that conditions attached thereto preclude him from benefiting. ICE was asked for police investigation into the attempted corruption in terms of Section 21 of the Prevention of Combating of Corrupt Activities Act. I don't have any contract with the city, said Machila. He said, me and Jackie, the MMC, have a cordial relationship, and we speak from time to time. I did call Jackie, and she never answered. I sent her a WhatsApp. She called back, and I told her about a group of township subcontractors who stormed our ANC Lekotla. They wanted to see the mayor. Well, so is Machila corrupt, or is he simply doing his job as a member of the city council? You judge for yourself. Inconsistent with the dignity of the judiciary, the appointment of John Schlope, the disgraced, impeached former Western Cape High Court judge, is now on the Judicial Services Commission. How can a person who's demonstrated that he will breach fundamental judicial ethics be trusted to evaluate whether candidates for judicial offices have the character required of judges? He can't. He's compromised. National Assembly's decision to send MK Party parliamentary leader John Schlope to the Judicial Service Commission was irrational and inconsistent with the dignity and independence of the judiciary, said the Democratic Alliance in court papers. The DA's approached the Western Cape High Court to set aside this decision. It is a separate case from the one launched by AfriForum in the Constitutional Court. Wow. In its application, DA has asked for an urgent interim interdict to prevent Schlope from taking up a seat on the commission while the DA's case is being ventilated and finally decided. Wow. Judicial Service Commission will be holding interviews in October, including interviews for the judge president of the Western Cape High Court, which he was removed from. So the DA has intervened to stop that. Schlope's designation is irrational and inconsistent, says Helen Zilla. Wow. Now, did Zilla actually say this? She sent an urgent application to the High Court. Yep. Schlope is removed from the bench following Judicial Service Commission process that found him guilty of gross misconduct for trying to sway two Constitutional Court judges to rule in Zuma's favor in the arms deal in 2008. It undermines the role of the Judicial Service Commission, therefore undermines the integrity and independence of the judiciary for Dr. Schlope to sit on the very body that found him guilty of gross misconduct. Yep. The National Assembly wrongly seems to have taken a view that he had no choice but to accept MK's nomination. It erred. It was for the National Assembly to decide after considering nominations for relevant political parties whom to designate. The only constitutional limit is that 3 of the designated MPs must belong to opposition parties, wrote Helen Zillett in her affidavit. Well, she's not alone. Fikile Mbalula is also jumping on board. The ANC is also angry about this. Schlope's appointment to the Judicial Service Commission is morally bankrupt and incorrect, says Fikile Mbalula. Ladies and gentlemen, has somebody substituted Fikile Mbalula with a body double? Because for the past week, Fikile Mbalula has been saying things that make sense. It doesn't make any sense. What is going on with Fikile Mbalula? He's suddenly making sense, which leads me to believe what I've always believed. He's simply an empty suit that does what he's told to do. Now he's being told to play nice, and he's playing nice. I'm not against Schlope, but it is wrong that you have been impeached and sit in the Judicial Services Committee and ask judges about the wrongdoings you yourself have committed. How do you do that? Because the political party you belong to has decided you must sit there and question others. It's morally bankrupt and incorrect, Fikile Mbalula said in a Newsroom Africa interview on Monday. Morally, if I were in the party he belongs to, I would not have gone for that person. But given who Jacob Zuma is, he will do that. Wow, Fikile Mbalula, that is just unbelievable. That's crazy. Wow. Wow. What have I missed in the chat over here? Mark Metz says, while we're focused on Cheatle, what else is going on that we're not supposed to see? Lots are going on. She was the former Pepsi CEO. No, she wasn't a Pepsi CEO, James Moriarty. She was in charge of security of PepsiCo. That's why they're calling her Kimberly Cheetos. Cheetos is part of the Frito-Lay brand, which is part of PepsiCo. She had nothing left to offer, and they'll get rid of her just like they got rid of Fauci. Yep. It was unbelievable watching Kim Cheatle evading responsibility, not batting an eyelash. Because she's just a bold-faced liar. That just shows you what Democrats and bureaucrats can do. They just lie to your face. And this is a person with a clearance. She sat there and lied. Her clearance should be removed immediately. It's like our country refused to fix the basic problems, but they have money for dumb ideas. Yep, it sounds like America. Yep. Now we see why the ANC stonewall walked the DA in Gauteng. Exactly, Charmaine. Exactly. It's about the tenders, exactly. We got to implement solar when no one can afford it, but the basic service is a disaster. Rude, that woman, and blames ratepayers for all the problems. Save the world, but we cannot save our own people. Theodorus says, hello, starting to watch news on mute and listen to your news. Well, Theodorus, that's what you should always do. The world is going to explode, but our people are dying, says PK. PK is going on about that one. Right, so flights have resumed to airports in the Western Cape that were shut down. That's right, folks. Flights have resumed to Kimberly, which is the Northern Cape, and to George after they were suspended following safety concerns at the weekend. Airports Company South Africa says they have resumed flights to those two airports. The Air Traffic and Navigation Service issued a NOTAM. That's a notice to airmen. Yes, it is airmen, not airwomen, not air persons. NOTAM, notice to airmen. This is something that pilots know all about. Is Arctic here? He can tell you all about NOTAMs. It's a notice to airmen, which is an advisory about safety concerns and flight deviations and things like that. We can confirm there's currently no negative impact on operations, both airports, with aircraft arriving and departing according to schedule. There you go. Massive raid over COVID-19 PPE probe in Mpumalanga nets homes, cars, and jewelry. Well, the South African Hawks and others are finally getting on the board for going after the corrupt ANC politicians who stole from you South Africans. The Asset Forfeiture Unit of the National Prosecuting Authority, the Special Investigating Unit, and the Directorate for Priority Crime Investigation, also known as Chicken Hawks, have seized assets and properties valued at 52.6 million rand from 4 provinces. Law enforcement entities said on Tuesday that the assets are linked to 22 officials, service providers, and entities involved in an alleged corruption network within the Mpumalanga Department of Public Works. Yep. The operation included serving orders at 34 locations and capturing inventories of 29 properties, 31 vehicles, and a boat trailer. The court order freezes properties such as houses, electronics, cars, household items, jewelry, arms, ammunition, bank accounts, and salaries. Multi-million rand COVID-19 PPE and disinfection service tenders were allegedly awarded to suppliers who did not deliver the services. Charges of corruption, fraud, and money laundering are pending. Yep. Was the useless CAA not doing what they're being paid to do? It wasn't safety concerns. No, I'm not saying it was. You're talking about that. I was talking about NOTAMs. I said the purpose of NOTAM. Well, is Losi correct? Is she right in the COSATU Secretary General in defending Helen Zille? COSATU's president, Zingwiza Losi's defense of DA Federal Council Chair Helen Zille over holding DA ministers and deputy presidents in government accountable has been in the spotlight. Her remarks came after ANC chairperson Gwede Mantashe accused Zille of acting like a parallel president. The Sunday Times reported Mantashe warned that Zille's actions could precipitate the collapse of the government of disunity. In an interview with Times Live Premium, Losi said Zille had the right to hold DA employees accountable to the party. I don't know what Helen Zille would have said or done, but the DA has a responsibility to its employees to hold them accountable. The same applies to the IFP, the EFF, and all other parties who have people in government. And she's right. She's right. Helen Zille is responsible for their conduct. Just because they're ministers in the cabinet and they report to the president doesn't mean she doesn't have any role of overseeing them. 17-year-old Gauteng girl has been arrested after a video of her firing shots at a cemetery goes viral. The 17-year-old girl was arrested over the weekend for allegedly discharging a firearm at a cemetery in Gauteng. Police said she was arrested at the Gauteng anti-gang unit and was thereafter taken to Walter Sisulu Juvenile Center. The girl was arrested following a video which went viral on social media where she was seen firing shots at the cemetery. She was traced and arrested at home. Ladies and gentlemen, let me report today with no hesitation whatsoever that the South African Police Service has successfully arrested a 17-year-old girl who fired gunshots into the air. But they've yet to arrest, detain, and imprison the boobus, doofus, dingbat leader of the Economic Freedom Fighters, Julius Malema, for discharging a rifle in public and then colluding to change the receiver to deceive the police forensics investigation. Ballistics were denied because of the actions of Julius Malema and his cohorts. They can arrest a 17-year-old girl within minutes of her firing an alarm arms in a cemetery, but Julius Malema is at an event with thousands of his followers firing bullets into the air, endangering public safety, 7 years ago? And he still sits not in prison. This girl's in juvenile detention facility. Julius Malema sits in parliament. You want to talk about parallel justice systems? That's not even racist. That's just dual system of justice. Wow. How is this not... How is the irony of this not being shared by anybody except me right now? The Independent Line is not even talking about the irony of Julius Malema walking the streets of South Africa, not paying a price for endangering public safety by firing a live ammunition into the air. Yet this girl is being arrested for that. And we have a video of Julius Malema doing that. It's correct. Well, the Chinese are brokering a deal between two Palestinian lunatic factions. China brokers Palestinian Unity Declaration in a bid to be a global mediator. Though unlikely to paper over deep differences between Hamas and Fatah, it represents China's push into the traditional U.S. area of influence because Joe Biden is absent, and so is Kamala Harris, too busy being the border non-czar. Leaders of Palestinian factions, including Fatah and Hamas, signed a joint statement Tuesday in Beijing aimed at ending divisions between the bitter rivals, a deal bolstering China's claim to be a global mediator but unlikely to heal the deep rift. Chinese media hailed the Beijing Declaration as a breakthrough and a sign of the country's emerging role in a peace broker in faraway conflicts. Well, it's pretty easy for China to broker peace negotiations. They simply give both parties a ton of cash, and then they go, well, look at this, we've solved the problem. Nope, that's not what happened. Well, the Kremlin takes aim at Kamala Harris. That's right, Kamala Harris gets her first detractor, and it comes from the Kremlin, saying her lack of foreign policy credentials amid a global uncertainty. Friends, foes react cautiously as Biden withdrawal shakes up the presidential race. Some of America's adversaries appeared eager Monday to downplay the foreign policy credentials of Vice President Kamala Harris. And this is what Russian Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov told reporters. He said, at the moment, we can't assess the potential candidacy of Ms. Harris from the viewpoint of our bilateral relations. So far of any of her contributions to our relations have not been noticed. He did note that Ms. Harris had made some unfriendly comments about Moscow in the past. He said, I cannot recall anything about her having ever spoken to Putin. When Putin met with Biden, she was not there in Geneva. And when Putin met with Biden the year before in Ukraine, wasn't there. Frankly speaking, I cannot recall a single contact between President Putin and Ms. Harris. So the Kremlin really doesn't care about whether she is on board. Well, Democrats are moving quickly to back Kamala Harris and her illegitimate run for president. Democrats coalesce around Harris as she kicks off bid with attacks on Trump. She appeared to have an inside track to seamlessly secure the Democratic nomination. Oh, look at that. Look at their military detail. A black man, one white man, and an Asian. Oh, that's so politically correct. When 80% of the military is white, and we have a diversified security detail from the Air Force, the Navy, and the Army. Look at that. Isn't that special? The Democratic Party largely coalesced around Vice President Harris as likely new nominee on Monday as she kicked off her campaign by promising to prosecute a forceful case against Trump and defend the legacy of Biden. Over the next 106 days, we're going to take our case to the American people, and we're going to win, she said. Harris accused Trump of wanting to take our country backwards in time before many of Americans have full freedom of rights. You mean like when the Democrats stole the votes for 14.5 million people? Yeah, and chose you? Well, the Wall Street Journal, which has become a captured publication as well, says that she's gliding to the nomination. Vice President consolidates support among party delegates who will decide the nomination. Vice President Kamala Harris secured the pledged support of a majority of delegates at the DNC convention on Monday, putting her on track to formally lock up the party's nomination. To secure the nomination, she needed a majority of the 3,949 delegates, and now by Monday evening, she had 2,220 delegates. So 2,220 delegates have violated their responsibility to the people who voted for Joe Biden, just like that. Where the hell is this at? Something's missing here. There it is. Okay. Yeah, so these are the states that have betrayed the 14.5 million voters. There they are, in blue. Pennsylvania is included. And she has 70% of the delegates she now needs. Hawaii hasn't done it yet. 70% of the delegates she needs to secure the nomination. That doesn't mean she'll secure it, but that looks like what's going to happen here. These are states where 14.5 million people voted for Joe Biden to be president, and now they've been defrauded of that by the Democratic Party elites who've decided that primaries are a waste of time. The will of the voter is a waste of time. We will decide for you who your nominee will be. That alone would convince me not to vote for the Republicans or the Democrats. Well, Johnson and Hakeem Jeffries announced a bipartisan task force to investigate the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. House Speaker Mike Johnson and House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries formally announced plans for a bipartisan task force to investigate the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump. The House will vote on this week. It's about time. Russia has sentenced an American journalist who is a dual passport holder, again, another fallacy about being a dual national, to 6 years in prison. The sentencing of Lusu Kormasheva, an editor with Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty, occurred the same day that Wall Street Journal's Evan Gershkovich was sentenced on espionage charges. A court in Russia convicted Russian-American journalist Lusu Kormasheva of reporting false information about the country's military and sentenced her to 6.5 years in prison on Friday. Wow, 6.5 years in prison for crimes committed not in Russia. Kurmasheva, 47, an editor with U.S.-financed Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty, was convicted in a closed trial in Kazan, 500 miles east of Moscow, the same day that Gershovich's conviction in Ekaterinburg. News of her conviction, however, emerged only on Monday. She was convicted under Russia's wartime fake news law, which bans broadcasting or posting of any information about the war in Ukraine other than what the government puts out. The law, adopted after Russia's invasion, effectively bars reporting on Russian atrocities in Ukraine, military setbacks, military casualties, or criticism of war. Gershovich, a U.S. citizen who is accredited as a journalist at Russia's foreign ministry, was convicted Friday of spying in a closed trial described by American officials and her employers as a sham. Gershovich. Yeah, his a sham. Anyway. Kumasheva, who holds American and Russian passports, is a Prague-based editor. She was detained in June last year after a trip home to Russia to visit her ailing mother. Both of her passports were confiscated. Americans, including American Marine Whalen, are sitting in prison, while the America-hating lesbian WNBA player was repatriated by the corrupt Biden regime. Brittany Griner, now playing for the American Olympic team. Brittany Griner, a druggie who carried drug paraphernalia into Russia in full knowledge that it's illegal to have drugs there. This druggie who hates America, who's dissed on America, who's a racist, vile, disgusting human being based on her own comments. That's who they got out of a Russian prison, Brittany Griner, leaving Americans in prison who work for the U.S. government. So this government doesn't have your back if you work for them. She works for the U.S. government, and they don't have her back. But Brittany Griner, an America-hating, spewing black supremacist, they work to get her out. Trump's age and health, this is funny, the Washington Post. Trump's age and health under renewed scrutiny after Biden's exit. After weeks of intense focus on Biden's health and age that ended his withdrawal from the campaign on Sunday, the script has been flipped. Former President Trump is now the oldest presidential nominee in history and one who has been less than transparent about his medical condition than his former opponent. Excuse me, less transparent? No. Joe Biden has not even been remotely transparent about his medical condition. What a liar. Donald Trump is vigorous and live and has survived an assassination attempt. And this scumbag, Michael Krenesh, writing for the Washington Compost, is going to try to turn this around. This is what the Democrats are going to do. Trump is the oldest nominee in history. Now, he's not the oldest person around for president. The oldest person around for president was Joe Biden. Unbelievable. Delta Airlines meltdown will now be probed by Pete Buttigieg's useless Department of Transportation. Officials investigate Delta's response to the CrowdStrike glitch as problems linger. Delta passengers trying to find their bags after flights were canceled at Hartsfield Airport in Atlanta, the hub. Federal transportation officials have launched an investigation into Delta Airlines as the carrier struggled to rebound from operations meltdown. Delta's turmoil, spurred by last week's CrowdStrike outage, continued early Tuesday. Other major carriers in recent days largely recovered from their operations. Wow. Trump tries to flip the script. Now, this is the New York Slimes, and this is comical. When the Democrats do it, they see nothing to it. When Trump does it, they call him a liar and dismiss it. This is comical. Donald Trump and his allies said President Biden's primary voters were disenfranchised. Democrats noted Mr. Trump had once tried to toss out millions of ballots. No, he didn't. He tried to toss out a few thousand ballots in Georgia. Yep. In a series of statements and social media posts, Republicans have argued the Democrats, by pressuring Biden to quit, have disenfranchised 14 million people who voted for him. And then this article by Nick Corsanati and Jim Reutenberg goes on to make excuses about why it's okay for Democrats to disenfranchise 14.5 million people, but it's really Republicans that did it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Hunter Biden has dropped his lawsuit against Fox News over the miniseries about him. Hunter Biden has dropped the lawsuit that he filed against Fox News over a miniseries. He dropped the suit over the program The Trial of Hunter Biden, a mock trial for the American people. Hunter Biden's lawyers had alleged in the lawsuit the program was made to harass, annoy, alarm, and humiliate him and tarnish his reputation. I think that Hunter Biden did all that on his own. He didn't need Fox News to do it. And there you go. So that's the news for today, folks. What are we down to now? Just 82 people watching the program, 112 likes, no super chats, no new memberships. That's okay. Appreciate that. What is this? PK says, do you ever think that both parties could have done better with younger nominees? I disagree. I think Trump is the right guy to lead us against the swamp. No Republican has shown any inclination to fight the swamp the way that Donald Trump has, and that's why they've brought false legal charge against him, bogus attempts to impeach him, lies about him, about being misogynist, about being a racist, about being a crook, all lies about him. The man has given us all to this country. Donald Trump is the right candidate. I don't like him, but he is the right guy. No one else has shown that fortitude to stand up to this nonsense. Yep, they tried to steal his personal wealth by taking $475 million bond over a non-existent crime. Yet Bernie Madoff defrauded millions of people of their life savings, and he got a $10 million bond. Everybody said airlines in Europe will go bankrupt if they have to pay passengers if they run late. Well, they don't pay passengers, Arctic. I had 4 claims against European Airlines, if my recollection, for my flight not shot. I never got compensated. You're supposed to get, what, 300 euros for a delay of certain... I never got a single penny. I filed my claim with, who was it? I think Lufthansa was one of them. German Wings was another one. Who were the other ones? Anyway, 4 times. I never got anything. They don't pay people. I don't have lawyers to go after them, so they just never pay you. Trump was born a long time ago, but it doesn't disqualify him from running. Exactly. Chris, can you check if Brittany Griner is going to be a father? That's funny. I saw that. Yep. Yeah, Brittany Griner and her partner have a baby. Yep. Hunter, old druggies don't die. They just fade away on Narcan. What did Miss Cheetos do at Secret Service 27 years and still have no clue? She was an agent, and she was on Dick Cheney's detail, the vice president's detail, and she stayed on the vice president's detail when Biden became the vice president. And she was nominated for the position because she chummied up and kissed ass with Joe Biden. And Joe Biden, of course, actually runs the presidency, but not for much longer. Yeah, there you go. In Ekaterinburg, where the last Russian Tsar and his family were murdered. Yep, that's correct. Brittany Griner, you guys are funny. I just answered that question. Why is that question coming up again? It's me. I just answered that question. It's coming up again. Anyway, yeah. So there you have it, folks. Crazy times indeed. Let me check on something here very quickly. So I'm looking to see something else came in and wait. Val says she's watching the stream and she can't comment. Let me go and make sure that she hasn't been blocked by somebody by mistake. Let me do that real quick. And that's going to be under settings. Turn my camera, the screen this way. Permissions. Okay, no, it's community. That's where it's at. Let's look and see it. Val, moderators. I have a lot of moderators here. Okay, I'm looking to see if she's been blocked. I don't see anything yet. Don't see anything yet. Nope, you're not blocked here. It must be YouTube doing it too. So Val is in the chat and she can't comment. I don't know what's going on. Leave the chat, Val. Leave the stream. Come back and try again. See, maybe it's a glitch. Might be a glitch. Yep. Yeah. So there you go. YouTube preventing people from chatting. Keep my chat rate very low. It's only 2. Not that it matters, but engagement matters. The higher the chat rate, the more you guys chat, the more you comment, the more you like, the more people will come to the stream. So when I cover something like when this thing started, we were like 30 people, and I started talking about Kimberly Cheetos, and people started chatting endlessly. The chat rate soared up, and in the first 20 minutes, we went from 30 people to 100 viewers because of that. Shadows redistricting has reached its limit. I think Texas is turning blue, sadly. Well, it's pretty close to being blue. It has been for years. It's so close to the border because these people stay in Texas and all these transplants from California. The left wants Texas desperately. They wanted Florida. They had Florida, but it was wrenched back from them. Arctic just gave a super chat. It says, we need you for the election season. Go buy a lot of Starbucks. It's going to be a rough couple months. Well, thank you, Arctic. And when it comes up, I won't ring the bell because it's Arctic. I'll just hit the easy button. So I won't be covering elections on election day, but that night I probably will. I'll come back and I'll talk about the election because remember, I'm a judge of elections and this is my third year. So 22, 23, 24. So this is it. Unless I run for re-election next year, which I'm inclined not to do at the moment, this will be my last time overseeing elections. It's an awful lot of effort. And when there's crooked politicians in both parties, I really lost my interest in overseeing it. Demographics are changing at an alarming rate. Yes, it is. That's correct. Yep. So there's a lot going on, folks. It's interesting. I mean, I should be getting millions of views on these videos, especially when I talk about assassination instead of 4,300 views. It's crazy. Let me take a look. By the way, my Irania video finally went over 10,000 views. Thank you all for that. That took a while, but it's still gaining slowly. So now it's slowed down again. So it got to 10,000. What charges? Tell me to discard changes. What changes? Hang on a second. My page is Eve page. Yes. I'm not changing anything. What's going on with this? YouTube is acting up, so it's not just her chatting. Okay, so I reload the page. 275 views. 10,275 views. So still getting a few views here and there. So 10,000. It should be 110,000 easily. Yep, but it ain't going to happen. Citizen Concern, that one's got 7,500. That slowed down to 6,000 as he picked back up. Now it hasn't. 291 last day, so that one's still getting a little bit of views, even though they're getting older. Yep. So anyway, thank you for that. The Ghoulam one still hasn't hit 1,000. That's surprising. It's just nothing's happened. 62 views. I need 62 more on the next day in order to get to 1,000 views on that. That's pretty lame. The lives have been doing well. Most of them going over 1,000 views or more. Yep. So anyway, but last night's Night Owls didn't do so great. It had 590 some. It says I lost a subscriber. I don't think so. And there's the super chat. Why is it not coming? There we go. I said I wouldn't ring the bell. Almost did it.
That was easy.
Yep. So Mike was out of town with family. Missed the link for the video. Which video? Which video, Mike? Which video? Suppose that people are getting complacent again. They are, PK. They are. They get complacent. And YouTube doesn't help. Last night's was great. Well, thank you, Charles. I enjoyed last night's Night Owls. We did it for a little bit, about an hour or so. Yep. So I did ask the question about where's Joe Biden in a short yesterday. Let me do that one real quick. View on YouTube. Okay, hang on. All right. Boy, my eyes look pretty crazy here. Well, this is last night or yesterday, not last night, when I was out driving on a short that I did in the car. So here you go. And I asked the question. Here we go. So I'm just curious, has anyone seen the milk cartons yet? I mean, shouldn't we put Grandpa Joe on the milk carton? Biden, no press conference, no Oval Office broadcast, no radio address, a digital signature on the letter. Where is Joe Biden? So I'm just curious. Let me give it a like. Gave my video a like. Yeah, so that was yesterday. Yeah, where is Joe Biden? I did that. That one got 500 views. But anyway, so yeah, people are asking the question. I've been asking the question forever. Evil eyes. They were evil eyes. I was like, PK said that's good. Just keep up the good work. Well, I've been doing it for 4 years now, so it'll pick up. It comes and goes, but mostly goes courtesy of YouTube. Need someone to actually latch on and offer me something. Googly eyes. No, they're not googly eyes. That's when you're oogling someone. Yeah, oh, you saw it and you're wondering where he is. Well, I'm wondering where he is too, but apparently he's supposed to speak tomorrow night, or at least his body double will speak tomorrow night. Yeah, Charmaine, I am being shadow banned by the elites. I am making too much sense, but it is frustrating. But I'll keep doing it. It's the record. Solution is for Republican governors to process migrants before the Democrats. They will then show their loyalty. Voting red, just suggestion. Shadow Seer, what we see is that with illegal immigrants that come to the country, they don't just vote automatically Democrat. That's the supposition for the Democrats. What they do, though, is they upset the number of people in a particular area, so that what happens is that you get overrepresentation in California and New York, places like that have populations. Our representation should be based on U.S. citizens, not on population. Population U.S. citizens, but it's based on population. So in a state like California with hundreds of thousands of foreign nationals, they get more representatives, but those representatives don't work for them. They work for the American people. That's kind of crazy. But that's reality. Oh, no, we know it is, PK. We've proven it. We just prove it. Just look at the stats from last year. Let me take a look and see if I can find something here real quick. Analytics. So, let me do this here. So let me show you. So you can see this, and look at this. Okay, you can see where I've been out of the country, and you see what's going on. Now you could say this because of what was being broadcast or what was happening at the time, but it's not as simple as that. So here you go. So look at that screen on the left hand, on the center there. So those peaks are corresponding with my trips abroad. September and October, I was in France, and look at those spikes. Then I was in South Africa in June and July, or May and June this year, and look at those spikes in the viewership. The other times, nothing. Just average. That's viewership. That's over the past year. Now, if we take a look, let me see if I can look at the last 3 years, lifetime. Okay, so here's lifetime. So lifetime, let me just see how it corresponds with trips, okay? God bless it. Hang on a second. Okay, so here you go. This is lifetime now of this channel, which had started in April of 2021. You can see that in 2022, which is over in here, my first trip back to South Africa. This is when I went to South Africa this time frame, July, August. And this is where we had these peaks. And then 2023, there's January 2020. These peaks over here, that's when I was in South Africa again. And then over here, this is when I was in South Africa again. And this is when I was in South Africa this time. Look at this. These are when I'm in South Africa. So you can see that I'm getting shadow banned in America. When I'm in South Africa reporting on the same things, I get many more views. Many more views. Anyway. And here in the last 90 days, it's much more pronounced. You can see. Look at this coverage. This is the last 90 days. So April, look at this. 800 views, April 26th, 700. That's very depressing. But then in May, a little bit going up there, it lulls. This is the day I flew to South Africa. And then look what happened the next day. 11,000 views next day, then 18,000, then 33,000, then 17, 18,000, then 49,000 one day, 28,000. This is when I'm in South Africa. I came back to the States here, and look how it drops off. You see that? You see that? You see that? What is shadow banning? Shadow banning is when social media companies hide your content. So they claim that their algorithm will promote your videos based on interaction and dynamic and people coming to it. But it's pretty clear. And a perfect example of this is the other day when I was, for some reason, they're shadow banning my rugby channel now. I don't know why. So the other day, I searched on YouTube for the title of my video, which was unique. In fact, well, I'm not going to go to it now, but I searched for the title of the video. Well, here's a perfect one. So if I search for Ruud Constantia, let me see if I can do it by the name of the video on my channel here. So let's go to Ruud. Okay. Oh, I got Constantia, not Constantia. So Ruud Constantia. Okay, let me go to that. Okay, let me get the title. Okay, so I'm going to use the exact title. Let's see if this comes up. It might now because I've renamed it. I don't know. We'll see. So I've renamed this video recently so that it has this title now. But let me go to YouTube, and you're going to watch what happens. You're going to do it in live time here, folks. We're going to do this live time, okay? This is YouTube, okay? Here we go. So here we go. Up here in the search, I'm going to put paste, and that's the title. Let's see if it comes up. Now, if it does, I'll be surprised. There it is. Actually, that's a shocker. I renamed it, so there it is. That's what should happen. I put the exact title. That's what should happen. But when I put the exact title of my rugby channel in this weekend, oops, hang on a second here. That's what I want. When I put the exact title of my rugby stream in, it didn't show up. Went through 300 videos. Didn't show up once. That's shadow banning. When you are going to your for what's up next. In fact, let me do that. Let me go to YouTube, and under this channel, this will see what comes up here. So this is what YouTube promotes for me. You should be seeing my videos, but you're not seeing it. When you do this, so I've got Fox News, which I don't even really watch. I don't even know who SA Rich and Famous are. I'm not even subscribed to Smurf Tools. I'm not subscribed to that. Morning Shot I'm subscribed to. That's the first time I've had Morning Shot come up in ages. Texas B-Works I'm subscribed to that. Morning Shot, that's the second one. Williams Philippines Retirement, I don't even know who that is. Ben Shapiro, I'm subscribed to that. And South Africa Today, I'm not subscribed to that. So this should be stuff that interests me. But what do I care about Oreo cookies? I don't. Now the topics are mostly Brandy because, oh, that's why Brandy, I watched that song recently. So yeah, then down here, breaking news, Sioux City, Iowa, I don't watch that. Forbes, Tampa Bay. So that's where you're supposed to see these things. But you don't see it. You don't see my channel up there. I'm subscribed to my channel. Gerhardt says, wow, what a what? What's a Hulse? What's a Hulse? Only cover rugby channel. That's where the money is. No, Shadow Seer, it's not. It's not. It's not. I have broadcast probably 600 games, I think it is now. Let me look and see how many banners I've done for Rugby Ascendant. There's a few duplicates in here, but let me see. Rugby Ascendant. Where the hell are they at? Where's my rugby covers? Come on. Where's it at? Oh, there it is. Rugby banners. Okay. So I have 293 in here. So yeah, 290. I've done at least 293 broadcasts of rugby games. At least. I know I've done more than that. But let's say we have 300 rugby broadcasts. I have, after 3.5 years of having that channel, or 3 years, let me see, Rugby Ascendant. Let's see. Let me do a search on that and see if it comes up, okay? Okay? Let's do that. Here we go. Watch this. Okay, Rugby Ascendant. That's my brand, Rugby Ascendant. Ah, there it is. It came up. Wow, look at that. But why doesn't it put my stuff up when I'm covering games? So there you go. There it is. There it is. 4,500 subscribers. That one came up. Okay. Saber Cats. Well, that's not me. That's me. These aren't me. That's me. So that's actually pretty good. Normally it doesn't do that. Maybe they've taken the shadow banning off. I don't know. But we go to Rugby Ascendant, and after 3 years, I have just 4,550 subscribers. Wow. I mean, I interviewed Victor Matfield. I have 79 views. What the hell is that? Wow. And more views with Bram van Straten. Andre Stamen, 47 views. Anyway, yeah, no, rugby's not where it's at. Not for me. Not while I'm Shadow Man. So I do a collab with MW on his Megaphone Sports, and we have 10,000 views, 7,000 views, 5,000 views. The smallest one is like 4,000 views. Been doing it for 7 weeks now. I should interview Trump. Well, that ain't going to happen. That's because they don't watch content. They'll promote things they want you to see and not what you're interested in. Yep, they claim it's what you're interested in, but that's a lie. Yep. Here, what's this? Stellenbosch, a startup with Schmidt, co-founder of Google. No, don't know that. Cloudline, Garrett. Never heard of that. Cloudline, Stellenbosch. Let me look that up. Cloudline, Stellenbosch. It comes up when I do that. Cloudline website. Solar-powered autonomous airships that are optimized for long duration. This is from August last year. Stellenbosch-based Cloudline is developing and operating solar-powered autonomous airships that are optimized for long duration, long-distance missions, completely rewriting the rules of aerial operations in terms of cost and reach. It's founded by Spencer Horn in 2018. Not really sure what it's all about, but no, I'm not familiar with that. Thanks for sharing it. Excuse me. Charmaine says, I'm subscribed to your channel and I have been the bell on and only get notified 2 days after you posted. There you go. See, that's an example of shadow banning too. That is a perfect example of shadow banning when they hide your content from your viewers by doing something like that. Anyway, because I think Smee again asked about shadow banning. It's a host of things. They hide your content. They don't rate it high. You can search for it. You can be unsubscribed. That's another form of shadow banning. Many of my viewers get unsubscribed. Here's another example of it. People don't get notified of streams. You know, it's funny because some people get notified of everything. Other people never get notified. And we've gone through the whole process about how you have to have the app installed on your mobile device. You have to have the app turned on. You have to accept, receive notifications, and you have to tell the phone, let you have notifications. And then you're supposed to get every notification, whether the app is open or not. So, anyway. My suggested vids are unrelated to anything I've ever watched. Most content is being pushed because creator paid to promote it. Yep, exactly. Yes, it's similar to what Republicans do or Democrats do to Republicans. They hide you. I think I know some history on those airships. Okay, Ark. All right. The things that are promoted on your homepage, YouTube, mostly propaganda. Yeah, well, that's not an unfair statement. So let me reload my homepage and see what comes up this time. SABC News, skid marks, Trump News, Mark Dice, Texas B-Works. Yeah, that Chica that does the Texas B-Works.
Yeah.
She's interesting. I saw her on TikTok initially. It's been another day of saving the bees. She's so mellow in her voice. Yeah, listen to this.
Storage box in someone's backyard and I was called to remove them.
It's almost like it's an artificial intelligence voice. It's not really her voice. But she does these videos and she saves bees. It's fascinating. She's got a huge following. She has 1.7 million subscribers, 1.75 million subscribers now. It's pretty incredible. Great video. She does great work. Oh, man, this is pretty wild. Check out all these bees here she's going to pull out. Hang on. Let me turn off the closed captioning because it's kind of annoying. Okay, all right, so check this out. This is on her. She's going to take all these bees out of a cooler. This is wild.
Entrance of their hive. And when they did, I saw a ton of great bees. And it was another day, a great day for saving the bees. I was in Texas, and someone called me. My broker is calling me. I've been called by my broker before when I was live. Yep. Hate the what's ASMR videos. Watch most of your broadcasts and always used to show up on my YouTube homepage, but lately it's not. I have to go search. Exactly, Sue. And that's how they drive down viewership. So part of it's intentional. Part of it's just happenstance. So for instance, when I'm in South Africa, YouTube has servers in South Africa, and content produced in South Africa gets promoted in South Africa. The topic isn't what gets promoted, it's the content produced there. So when I'm in South Africa, that's why I was covering the elections. I got a lot more views when I was in South Africa this time. But now that I'm here, I'm not getting them. And they hide stuff. Jordan Peterson sounds like an AI voice. I don't have a problem with Jordan Peterson. It's better not to be aggressive around bees. Well, yes, it is, Charmaine. When you're around the bees, you must behave yourself. You must be very calm and collected. And she's a lovely lady. The eyeglasses make her look very scholarly. Main thing for YouTube is revenue, so if you say you're not interested enough, then they will stop your... Not interested. I don't understand what you mean, PK. It doesn't work, Shadow Seer. I tried VPN. It doesn't work. Number one, it doesn't trick them. Number two, the data connections between South Africa and here are not sufficient for me to log into a South African server and then run a live stream from here. You just get buffering the whole time. Doesn't work. You're right, James. They're doing it because they're listening to me. Same reason why Val can't comment tonight. Val Cooper is not in the chat tonight. She's watching the broadcast, but her chat is not showing up. She's not blocked by any moderators. I looked under community positions. She's not blocked here, but she's not here. By the way, the beekeeper, I don't know how long she's been on let's see how long she's been on YouTube, because she's been on TikTok. Oh, she has been here since 2016. Okay, I didn't know she'd been here that long. Okay. Texas Bee Works, 1.3 million views. Wow. 8-foot-long honeycombs. It's amazing. Yeah, she does great content. Yep. Yeah, it doesn't work, the VPN. On YouTube, you can right-click and say not to recommend this channel. Yeah, you can do that, but that becomes very time-consuming. Very time-consuming, PK. And it doesn't mean you're going to get recommended things you want to watch. It just doesn't work that way. I wish it did. But hey, whatever. What I can say is that we're holding pretty consistently since I came back here from South Africa on this trip with a lot of people who rediscovered the channel or found it for the first time. We're getting pretty consistent live stream audiences. So thank you for that. But yeah, but still a lot of content's not being watched. So for instance, today from 12 to 1, we had 616 watching. So now next hour, we're 23 minutes in, we've got 115 new people. Anyway, yeah, but whatever. It's the platform we have. I don't have to pay for it. PK says it helps a bit. Well, perhaps. Beth says, I didn't get this notification, but I noted both Rumble channels had you featured this morning. Are you serious? Rumble had me featured? Wow, on your feed? Wow, isn't that interesting? I don't go to Rumble very often. So, Charlie Kirk Show, Dan Bongino, Russell Brand, and The Quartering. These are all paid programs by the friends of Dan Bongino. That's the 4 things at the top of mine. So, here you go. So, that's what comes at the top of my feed when I come there. Oh, there you go. Look at that. Oh, no, those are my videos. That's why they're there. Continue watching. Podcasts of Lotus Eaters. Okay. Recommended creators. Gaming. Yeah, none of that's of interest to me. So, yeah, none of that interests me. But, yeah. So, my channels. 657 people now watch me on this channel. So, if anybody wants to go on to there, let me just share that with you real quick so you got the link. If you want to follow me on Rumble, your call. Would you vote for Kamala or Ciro for U.S. President? Neither. I'd write myself in. Well, that's interesting because Rumble was never promoting my content before, so I'm glad you guys got the note. Rumble, if you let it, sends you emails, which is what YouTube used to do. I get emails all the time on Rumble, but they come and go. Sometimes they just stop for a while, then they come back. Adverts on YouTube are even more annoying. I get bombarded with religious charities, especially Muslims. I've never gotten any of those. You're in the UK, that's why. Why don't you use VPN or I don't know what YUSRE. What is that? What is that? Well, thank you, Beth, for writing me in. I appreciate that. Anybody that's in Pennsylvania, the 92nd District, that might be watching this program, feel free to write my name in as representative this fall. Feel free. I know I will be writing my name in. Yep. Yep. How many subscribers, views do you need to do commercial programs, promotions? I can do commercial. I can do that now. I can, push brands. I can do that. That's allowed. I mean, that's something YouTube's been telling me to do for some time now. But I didn't do it. I hadn't done it because, I don't know. It seemed to me like shilling. I'm not shilling for people. So what do you guys think of that? Should I do that? Thing is that to get regular notifications, you have to be a religious viewer and not have too many subscriptions. See, John Jarvis says he gets a notification for all my streams. See, he's one of the few people who does. Well, that's awesome, John. Cool beans. So why aren't you always here? No. It blocks all ads and trackers. Yeah, that's not the problem. The trackers aren't the problem. The data feed is not fast enough. For instance, if I went right now to my VPN and pick South Africa, watch. You guys are going to suddenly see that it's going to start buffering. Where's my VPN? There it is, NordVPN. Okay. Get my VPN up and see if I can't find something in South Africa real quick. Okay. Okay, Johannesburg. Let's try that. And look at that. I'm buffering already. See, I went through Johannesburg with VPN. My connection's great there, and you were getting buffering. Just like that. See? All these people, like they all live in Silicon Valley, like this is an answer. I have Brave. What are you talking about? Are you talking to me? I have Brave. What about it? I have Brave right here. Just a browser. Beard oils and shampoo. John says, I'm always here from 6 to 8. Okay, John. Well, cool. Nancy Mace was amazing yesterday. Shirley killed it with it. Yes, she was amazing. She was great. Send a link if you're ugly. Oh, okay, that's not a problem. Come on. Come on. Yeah, why isn't that? There we go. Okay. No, my Rugby Ascendant channel wasn't shadow banned for a long time. I mean, when I was doing Springbok test matches, I was getting 25 to 45,000 viewers. Now, to be fair, a lot of those people are simply looking for free broadcasts, but I picked up a lot of viewers. So I can't go into that while being logged into this account to show you the data. But Rugby Ascendant was doing very well for about a year, and then suddenly I went to South Africa and I didn't do a couple of games, and I come back and it's stagnated. Yep, it's really frustrating. So to block ads, I'm not worried about blocking ads. Yep, it's about the speed. So you can see I just went into a VPN, and that VPN works perfectly fine for me to do things normally, but it didn't work. Yeah, see, Garrett also gets all the notifications, but I don't get any notifications. I have the app open, I have it turned on, and I get notifications all the time of other channels, but I don't get notified of any of my channels. None of them. Yep. So let me see if there's any notifications in here. Okay, here's notifications from YouTube in my app. Let's see what they've got here. So they've got South Florida Sunshine, bikinis. I don't watch that. Skid marks. I watch that rarely. Super Bruce, Super Sports Schools. Skid marks. Major League Rugby. Robbie Starbuck. These are all links to videos on my phone. Yep. Other than that, I get video can't be monetized, video can't be monetized, all checks complete, video can't be monetized, video can't be monetized. Good Lord, YouTube. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so there you go. Anyway. Move to South African State, Colonel. You have no other choice. Shadows here. Thanks. Well, thank you, Charmaine, for subbing to the Rugby channel. You can catch me there for play-by-play and color commentary. So let me take a look at when the games are on this weekend. They probably won't be on Friday because they don't need to do that anymore. So let me take a look. And I'll tell you which games I'll be covering. I'll be covering the Province and the Bulls game. So schedule. Here we go. July 30th. It should be about 26. Excuse me. 26. What day is 26? Is that Friday? That's Friday, isn't it? Yeah, Friday there'll be two games. So I'll be covering the Griffins and Cheetahs at 8:55 my time in the morning. At 11 o'clock, I'll be covering the Pumas and Griquas. So that. And then on Saturday, I'll be covering the Lions and Sharks and the Bulls and Province. So you'll be able to hear play-by-play and color commentary of those games. Yep, right there on my Rugby channel. So if you want to check it out. Now, you won't see the game, Charmaine. You don't see the game. That's illegal. I can't show game, but you hear play-by-play and color commentary. Yep. And my enthusiastic response. Leovin gets all the notifications through WhatsApp. That's because we have the WhatsApp group to do it, but YouTube doesn't tell her anything. So there you go. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. Thanks, everybody, for being here. 136 likes, 21. Where did the Super Chat revenue come? Did I miss some Super Chat revenue? Oh, that Super Chat came, from Arctic. Thank you for that, Arctic. I was like, where did it come from? Okay, cool beans. End of August, internet will be fully upgraded in South Africa. Well, maybe. We'll see. We'll see. All right, guys, thanks a lot. Be sure to hit the like button. Today is Tuesday. Tomorrow I've got my radio program. We're not doing Wednesdays with the Colonel these days. So we'll see what else happens. If anything breaks, Biden's supposed to speak tomorrow. I'll probably cover that. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. All right, thanks, everybody. It's going to be late for others. I think it's 8 p.m. on Wednesday. It's going to be 2 in the morning for South Africans, but I will be covering Biden speaking, or his body double speaking to the world. And then I'll be interviewed on Thursday for Biz News. I don't know when that'll appear. And there you have it. All right, folks, cheers. Thanks for being here. It's always a pleasure. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.